After watching this movie, Christians, we have no excuse in our mediocrity anymore. What's going on, everybody? It's Quam Tuesday with Brooklyn Bridge Media, and That's Fire Podcast, where we talk about everything from politics to pop culture and what it means for the believer and how we should be thinking about these things and representing God's kingdom in all areas. So I saw a movie recently that I would say is probably in the top 3 movies that I've seen all of 2025. If y'all don't know, I love movies. I'm actually getting ready to start making movies myself. Our company, Brooklyn Bridge Media, we have our hands in all things of the arts to represent the kingdom to the fullest and the highest ability with all things in the arts. And one of those things is in cinema. And I've seen many animated films. And I thought that I was going to be seeing the same type of film when I went to go see David the movie, produced by Angel Studios, in theaters. And so I saw the previews and trailers, and this movie has been a long time coming to the theaters. And you've seen a lot of trailers and a lot of clips on the Angel Studios channel on cable or whatever. And I was anxious to see how the whole movie was going to be, but it was not what I expected. But that's a good thing, because what I expected was it to be the same story of David from his childhood, climaxing to him defeating Goliath, and that's the end of the movie. But I'm going to try to get through my review of this movie and then my recommendation, try to do this pretty quickly. So, number one, let's talk about just animation in itself. The animation in this movie, I don't know what they use or what program, software they use, but it is phenomenal. Now, I'm a graphic designer by trade, and I draw and all that. So I was looking at the details. There's so much details in each shot, from the stubble on the hair to, there's a particular shot when David is getting anointed, and you see the trickle of the oil coming down his chin, and it looks so real. To the point, the animation in this movie is so detailed and so real to the point that you almost forget you're watching an animated movie. But you can't, because of the stylized characters, the way they're stylized, which I really liked. I took notice of the Goliath character. He didn't look like what I expected, because you see the same sort of character, but it was really interesting the way they had him looking. There was one particular scene where, he was standing there pontificating, and his eyebrows were so protruding, and it was almost comical, but it looked, his brow area, but it made it look more menacing, so it wasn't, because it's obviously a cartoon, obviously animated, it wasn't, hyper realistic, but the way they animated and the detail in it made you lose yourself in the story. So that part of it, I give it an A+. 5 mics, whatever you want to say. It was great. The animation was great. It actually has set the standard for animation, I believe. And any other movie that comes out that's animated in this style, I'm going to be comparing it to this. And it's so awesome because it is a movie done about David. That's something in the Bible that it's not just some feel-good storyline that is not attached to something that I hold dearly and has eternal meaning to it. So that's great. Secondly, let's talk about it's a musical. So the music in it, we got to talk about it. So every, in musical movies like this that are animated, every few minutes, every beat of the story where there is supposed to be something important happens, a song comes up. And sometimes that can be great, and sometimes that can be dangerous and a trap, because if you have a song and there are some songs that kind of start sounding the same, they could be campy, they could be what's expected, and I would say that on this level, a lot of the songs, some of the songs did start to sound a little bit the same for me, but the lyrics were great, and the musicality of it was great. Obviously, the singing was great and amazing. It didn't take away from the film; it added to it, but it could have added more, I believe, if they had a different variety. When the villain or the dangerous part of the journey in the movie came up. You had that kind of a sounding song that came up as well. It added to it the soundscape of the movie, meaning like just the music that supported the scenes was great. It didn't get in the way, and it supported it, like the fight scenes and the epic scenes. They were very good. So I would give that, if it's out of 5, I'd get it a 4 for the music. I'd give it a 4. And then you have just the pacing of the movie, and the dialect, like the back and forth dialect between characters, a conversation between characters. That was really great. It was funny. There was a variety of different characters. They weren't all the same. Some of them were hilarious. The one that my sense of humor, felt good because I saw something in there that made me laugh that didn't make a whole lot of other people laugh. I don't know why, but there's a character in there, one of David's brothers, that reminds me of how some of Gen Z acts, and it just cracked me up the way the way he was always complaining. It just was funny. It was really funny. The difference and variety of characters and how they created them and their different personalities. You could really see that coming out. The main thing that caught me off guard in a good way about this movie is 2 things. Number one, it wasn't the typical David story. The David story is typically him being picked by, he's a shepherd boy. You see him out there fighting a lion and a bear, and then he gets picked by Samuel, and he goes through all of this, and then the climax is him fighting Goliath, right? But this movie didn't do that. Him fighting Goliath was only part of the movie. They showed a good part, some parts of the stories that maybe a lot of people who are not believers, who have never read the Bible, would not have known, that were amazing to show. And what it did was it showed the main theme, which is number 2 thing that I want to talk about, the main theme of the movie, which is following the light, following God, and making sure that God is the center of your life, and then what can happen when you stand for Him versus standing for yourself or cowering in the darkness. One line that he said in here that was really poignant to me, that stuck out, was, what did he say? He said, I'd rather die in the light than to live in the darkness. That was an amazing line. I'd rather die in the light than live in the darkness. And I really appreciate that, because that's how I want to live my life as well. And I believe every believer should be living their life like that as well. So the message of the movie had to come out through not just stopping at the Goliath killing, but going forward from there. I will tell you, parents, you can take your little kids to it as well, because there's no blood in it. There's no gore or anything like that. They don't even go into Bathsheba, none of that. It just, is a feel-good movie with some, now there might be a little bit of scary parts for little kids when they bring up the Amalekites, which is another thing I like to talk about. The Amalekites, the way that they portrayed them was really good. The way they did that, it made it ominous and scary. There were like several antagonists in the movie, a couple antagonists in the movie. So it had a lot of layers in it that you're not used to when you see a animated film. So all in all, I would say this movie gets a 4.8 out of 5. You better go see it. It is very, very good. At points in time, I found myself emotional, with some of the storylines. And I knew all the storylines in it, too. I knew what was going on. They did take a little bit of license in, displaying some of the latter stories, but they had to do it for time. It did feel like a long movie, but you did not get bored. You did not get like, oh man, I wish this movie was over. I was enthralled the entire time. So I would say it's an enjoyable movie to watch. I may go see it again. It gets a 4.8 out of 5. Now, Christians, we have no excuse now. We are now starting to move up in our quality of entertainment. The story and the message has always been there, but now we're beginning to catch up and surpass what has been out there. So I am really encouraged by it, and I want you guys to go see this movie, David, the movie. You are going to love it. Let me know what you think. If you've already saw it, let me know what you think in the comment section. Like and share, and we will see you in the next one.